Because we staked out the dude's house.
That's right, and I kept falling over things, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
you had a horrible
Unlike
run
that
of
dude's-
bad luck.
That dude's dodgy as fuck, but he's probably not. But I don't know that.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
that's essentially the long and tall of it. You did return to Dr. Malthusius and showed him the three-socketed pelvis.
That's right.
And he's like, oh, well, that doesn't jive with what I was told by the town, the city watch, because they said that the goblin had been found dead in a warehouse on the other side of town.
Yeah.
And so he was like, well, they told me to go to City Hall to, make inquiries, but I've not had the chance.
That's right.
So you guys went to City Hall and spoke to this guy. A, because you wanted to get paid for collecting the goblin, which you were soundly denied because technically, according to them, you didn't kill the goblin. So, and then where are my notes? You were informed that you would need to come back to the town hall the following day to speak with someone of more import.
That's right.
And then he was the guy who sort of said FS. I don't know. Franz Steinhager is probably the first name that comes to mind. Maybe go and speak to him about it. Because FS was embroidered onto the handkerchief that you found in the demon lair.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Speak to him, we did.
So you did.
Yeah.
Ulrich insulted him, so he kicked you out.
Yep.
We did so badly.
Did very badly.
I didn't do great either.
No. But then I think you did excellent stealth checks following that. But then Gehenna and Ulrich,
which I
sucked
ruined.
at them.
Yeah.
I also think I did pretty good as well.
I think you did.
That's
I think
right,
the two
yeah.
of you were doing
Yeah.
quite well. It was just
Two of
Gehenna
us
and
Still
Ulrich.
in the armor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So you then followed him back from his offices to his house, and were trying to see if you could gain entrance, but it's all pretty high walled. Ulrich was given a spot fine by patrol for
That's
loitering
right.
with intent.
Oh,
And then I rocked up.
Yep.
Was like,
Just as he's getting a fine.
I'm his
yeah,
mate. He
because
was
I was
waiting
waiting for a mate.
Yeah.
Yep.
The classic.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you then decided that, considering that this seemed to be a fool's errand, that you were going to go back to the boat and sleep and start again fresh the following morning.
That's it.
One other thing that you had heard tell of as a sort of a rumour from Dr. Malthusius was that he'd heard talk of a madman ranting about prophecies of doom in one of the town's many squares.
That's right.
So, are any of you injured at this point in time?
I may be. Very slightly.
I'm on full health somehow. Yeah, I'm on full. This is great.
Alright, so if you
I'm
do...
full, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I am full as
You're
well.
full? Alright. If you do require any healing, then I'll get you to make a average endurance test to see if you heal up any hit points overnight.
Okay, I'll do that in a moment. Just bring Alex's wine. He's left
Nice.
downstairs.
Fantastic.
I'm going to take that astounding success lets me recover the one wound back up to max.
Yeah, you'll feel good.
This
You're
wine is an astounding success. There you go.
good. Alright, so I need the three of you, not Steve, to roll for me average endurance tests.
Oh,
Yeah, I know why.
Alright.
Excellent.
that should be okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Let me get my tardy self. Where's my character sheet? One day I'll remember where everything is. Not today, though. There you are. Average.
Nice. Okay. You don't contract itching pox at this precise moment.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Steve's got the itching pox.
Yay!
Mm.
Not that we know that specifically.
No.
I don't know that either.
Yeah, you
I
got.
got I don't rolled a 10 on
was
the
it fine?
incubation phase.
Oh, dang!
So at this point in time, you feel fine, but in another 9 days, you're gonna feel pretty
Not fine.
average. You'll have coughs and sneezes and a pox.
Yeah. Could have been worse.
It could have been a
Could
lot
have got
worse.
something way worse.
You could have gotten a more significantly detrimental disease than itching pox.
There are that itching pox is probably like the best one.
Yeah, because there's like a one-off. Once
If
you
you
get
have
it,
to choose.
you can't get it again. So, like the real life pox.
Let's not bring realism into this.
No, let's not have realism at all. All right, so it is the following
Let's
morning.
have
You wake up
nothing.
on the boat.
The boat.
What are your plans for the day?
Oh, that's a really good question. Maybe I'll read something just for the hell of it, since I can do that now.
By all means, do you have any literature that you can read?
There's probably a wanted poster somewhere. But what I might do is... I'm gonna go for a wander today, I think.
Okay.
But I wanted to wear.
I don't know, maybe along the docks a bit, see if there are any fellow salty individuals.
Fellow salty individuals. Okay.
That's very hello, fellow kids.
Yes, hello, my fellow kids. All right. Do you? So, what you're along the docks there? Would you care to stay on this side of the docks, or would you be interested in taking the ferry across and observing the other side of the docks?
Yes, I would love to take the ferry. That means more boats.
More boats. Okay. Now, I
More
believe there is a
boats.
fee for the ferry. Let me just double check that before
I've probably got some money.
I send you off on a wild goose chase.
Hell yeah. Best kind of chase, it has wild geese on it. It's good value for money.
Particularly if you catch a goose.
Oh, or if the goose catches me.
Mm-hmm.
Or a duck.
Or a duck.
Never a duck.
I could
Oh.
do many
A duck-
ducks and
A
perhaps
duck
one
and
goose.
then a goose. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank
Okay, it is pretty cheap. It is 6 brass for a ferry ride using
you. Cool.
a ferry by the name of Kringler's Ferry.
Lovely. I will do that.
Cool. All right. What about the rest of you?
Now, where was the madman purported to be?
It was the only thing that you heard was that he was in a town square. Malthusius didn't specify which one.
Okay.
There are at least 3 or 4 to choose from.
I might actually join Wolfgang on this. To just walk around some town squares and just see if we can find an absolute madman.
Do it.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'll do. I guess
Yeah.
I will wander ministering to my flock, like talking to people and priesting about. Basically.
Priesting about. I do love a good bit of priesting
Reading
about.
about.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
And this madman is different to the fellows we spoke to about the moon going full in the night too frequently. That was
Yes. Yeah, that was just a
knowledge.
random bloke that you happened to run into.
Yeah, okay.
I might head off with them as well, but as soon as we come across the first group of guards, I'll stop and talk to them.
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
We'll do that interaction first because I think that's a relatively straightforward one.
Yeah, I'll go up to them and be like, "Hey lads, how you going?" And then I've been hearing about this crazy prophet guy talking about Doomsday. Where's that located?
God.
What's that about, my fellow guards?
Make me an average guard test. Wow.
Yeah, average guard
Just an
test.
average guard test.
Is that a block, technically?
Yeah.
Gossip.
Can you make an average gossip test? Yes, please. Nice. Alright, so you guys would have wandered off. Let's say you were on the boat, which is roughly here. So, yeah, I reckon if you had wandered into town, you probably would have gone down this this street here. So, I'm going to say the guy says, "Oh, yes, yeah, I heard about him. He's been told to move on a couple of times, but every time he moves on from one square, he just pops his head up in another. You're not from here, are you?"
No.
Right, okay, so up in front of you, on the left, you can see we've got the town hall. Big building, can't miss it. And just past it, you can probably see the tops of the spires of the Temple of Sigmar. So if you head down there into that square that the temple is in the centre of, that's where he was last seen proselytizing, as it were.
Thank you kindly.
No problem. And they nod their caps at you. They're wearing you know those World War II tin hat type things, rather than
The
proper
kettle
helmets.
Kettle hat's what it's called.
Yeah,
usually.
kettle hats. That's the style of helmet they're wearing in the town watch. So
Salute or whatever guards do. I guess they don't salute.
probably
Well,
not
they
to
might do.
each other. To a superior officer, certainly.
Yeah. Well, I do whatever is common as a greeting.
I reckon
In,
between soldiering types, you would probably make the sign of Mamidia,
Okay.
which will be some sort of trident-shaped thing because she's the
Yeah.
goddess.
It's like the forks, but with 3 fingers.
Yeah. Although, yeah, Mamidia is technically, goddess of war, isn't she? Probably not forks, but it doesn't matter, whatever. I'm thinking of Manan, who's the god of the sea.
Yeah, whatever the case is, I'll do that as I leave.
So you will make your way down towards this square over this way. In the interim, Steph has wandered, Gehenna I should say, has wandered a few yards up the dock to this rather busy dock here, where she finds the ferrymaster, offers up her 6 brass pennies, and is ferried across to the other side, over on this dock over here. And you said you wanted to nose around the dock areas.
Absolutely, I do.
Cool. Make for me, you are a sailor by heart, so let's say an easy perception check.
Alrighty.
Oh!
It's astounding.
Absolutely
Nice.
astounding. Alright, so you are wandering around the docks and you're getting a whole bunch of different smells, refuse, effluent.
Wonderful.
You're getting sort of damp, rising smell from the underside of the piers where the wood is sort of rotting. But as you walk past one particular warehouse, you get a really strong whiff of cheap alcohol, which sort of catches
Very nice.
which sort of catches your attention. And as you sort of turn to look at it, you recognise now that you can read, and you know your numbers and your letters, you recognise that the warehouse that you have stopped in front of, two things of note. One is that it clearly has the Steinhager family crest emblazoned above the door.
Oh, yes.
And two, they're all numbered, much like dock warehouses are in like Freo or whatever. And this one is the warehouse that you were informed by the clerk at the town hall, where the goblin was found dead.
Interesting. Does it look particularly well guarded?
There is a single gentleman sort of sitting on a crate out the front, who is rather seedy looking and appears to have a bit of a tick.
Alright. I'm gonna take one of my bottles of rum out of my coat.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of have a little sip and wander down the dock, looking a bit drunker. Just mildly drunker than I am, so a bit tipsy in his general direction.
Alright. He notices you and he sort of narrows his eyes, but you notice that when he spots the bottle of rum in your hand, his eyes light up. It's like, ooh, that's a nice bottle.
Yeah, I'll give... Yep, carry on.
Does he, do you approach him, or do you just sort of wander past looking like somewhat inebriated?
I wander up to him, I give George a little pat on the head with my other hand and go, "We're celebrating, you want a drink, mate?"
Make for me, please, a very easy charm test.
Excellent. Where is my charm?
It almost seems too easy.
Ah, there we go.
I will say that Steph having introduced a bottle of alcohol into this mix did make the test significantly easier.
Oh no, I mean that all makes sense. But the dice... Oh no, never mind. The dice have... Never mind.
What have the dice done?
It's just every
scrolled all
time,
the
it's
way
like,
to
oh,
the
this
top.
will be easy. No,
Yeah, oh, okay, fair enough, yeah.
this time. Hell yeah.
He
Oh, yeah.
says, to what am I toasting, he says, before he takes a swig.
Finished up a big job. Got some, potentially regular employment. Not perhaps with terribly high-flying individuals, but enough to keep the rum flowing.
Hey, I'll drink to that, my friend. And he takes a deep swig and returns the rum bottle to you.
I'll, pretend to take a deeper swig than I actually do.
Yep.
And go, I hope you've got something worth celebrating in your life.
Oh, indeed I do. I don't know if you've heard the word around town. He sort of leans in to try and sort of bring you into his sort of conspiracy.
I'll lean down, and I'm sure George does as well.
Yeah. George sort of, in like that sort of musical theatre sort of style, like, gets one hand on his knee and puts a hand to his ear, sort of like, what's this?
Amazing, yes, George, the best.
He's very dramatic, is George.
Yeah.
He says, I suppose you may have heard that there was a rogue goblin running around the town?
I heard it caused quite a kerfuffle.
That it did. Well, I'm the one who bagged him.
You bagged the goblin. I heard he was slippery. How'd you do that?
Oh, he might have been slippery, but old Anton Bruegel, he's a dab hand with the old club when it comes to it. Played a bit of golf in my day.
Get him? Oh, where'd you get him?
where to get him? Right here, I did. Right here. It was just, I found him when I was doing my patrols of the warehouse, just behind me here. Found him hiding behind a couple of crates. He did give me a good chase, he did. We ran around in circles for quite a few minutes. But
I bet he did.
I know this place like the back of my hand. So before long, I managed to trip him up. And he sort of mimes putting his foot out and watching a goblin trip over him. And then I beat the creature to death with my club. And he pats the club that's attached to his hip.
I will give the club a suitably admiring glance and go, my goodness, it must take a bit to swing that thing. Good accuracy.
You will remember that that is not what you were told is how the goblin died. But, sure.
Yeah. I'm literally just blowing smoke up his ass at this point.
He is like, oh, it's the best club I ever did own. So what brings you to this part? I understand you're celebrating, but if you just happen to be going for a wander, or is there your employer nearby?
Oh, I got a day off. I thought I'd go around, see the docks. I'm a bit of a sailor myself, so I like to see where all the boats are going, the town that I go through.
Fair enough. And it's at that point that a replacement watchman sort of turns up and says, "Oi, Anton, you drinking on the job again?" And he's like, "What? Well, just a tipple. This lady is celebrating. I couldn't say no to having a celebratory drink with her."
I'll pat Anton on the shoulder and go, don't give him too much grief. It was my fault. Here, I'll leave the rest of the bottle with you, and hand it to the replacement.
Make for me another easy charm test. Oh.
I don't know if I want to re-roll that.
It's your call.
I kind of want to re-roll that.
Okay.
I want to be more charming than that.
Alright.
I want to use a point. Whoop. Screen's gone dark. What's that about? There we go. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
That's more like it.
He looks at the bottle, the preferred bottle, and then looks at you and looks back at the bottle. And he says, "Well, I suppose it would be rude to decline." And he takes the bottle, nods his thanks, takes a swig, says, "Oh, that's good stuff, that is."
No better time to start celebrating. And I'll give him a nod, and I'll give Anton a friendly pat on the back.
Yep.
And carry on down the docks.
Cool.
Placing the warehouse very carefully in my mind.
Excellent. Anton walks with you for probably maybe half a block, and then turns off deeper into the town. So that's the last you see of him.
I got what I need.
You did indeed. We'll cut back to the rest of the party. You will have made your way to this square here. This town square is dominated by the Temple of Sigmar, and there are other smaller temples surrounding it. The Temple of Verena, other temples which I can't think of off the top of my head. I'm sure I can find one if I look hard enough. I've literally opened just about all of these. Come on now. Temple of Handrick. Temple of Mamidia. There's basically a bunch of different temples here. Temple to Bögen himself, the patron god of Bögenhafen. And in the centre of this town square, there is a sort of crazed, bedraggled beggar who is... where are my notes on the beggar man? He has a somewhat of a small crowd surrounding him, and he is sort of shaking his fist furiously in the air and yelling the following on a loop. Doomed! We're all doomed! Chaos is upon us! The signs are everywhere! But every now and then...
I am instantly, like, right there. I'm like, this guy.
This guy. This guy.
No, he's... Well, I can do some good work with him.
And
This is like two flat earthers hearing each other talking from a great distance away.
Yeah. But the problem is I've witnessed literal demons, so...
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even a flat earther in this instance.
So,
it's great.
You watch this for... I'm going to say maybe 3 to 5 minutes. You stand there watching him sort of at the back of the crowd. And probably, maybe every 30 to 45 seconds, he'll occasionally throw in one of the one of the 3 following lines. I see 7, I see 9, they will all be mine. Or, the star within the circle is a sign of death. Or, beware the man who is not a man. And so they are sort of randomly intermixed with the 4 lines that I mentioned previously.
Cool.
So he's just like repeating himself?
Yep.
I'm not going to interrupt. Like, I'm going to let him kind of... I'm watching and observing.
Alright. This continues for
And
some
then,
time.
and then I guess as it starts, I'm assuming he's going to wind down at some point, or someone's going to try and escalate
Yeah,
the
so
situation.
if you do nothing, eventually,
Yes.
after about 10 minutes, a patrol of the town city watch will arrive, and will start trying to disperse the crowd and tell this gentleman to move on.
I at that point, I'm going to step in
Mm-hmm.
and speak. And so I approach the guards and say, "Oh, gentlemen, thank you. I'm glad you have arrived. Yes, this man clearly is not well, but I, as a priest of Sigmar, and I'll do all the gang signs and print out comets and touch my thing. I feel I can minister him. He's clearly tormented, and I feel that this is a spiritual matter. I'll make sure, and I have some skill at arms, as do my companions. We'll make sure he causes no more harm, and I will graciously escort him to somewhere quieter."
Cool. As you turn to interact with this gentleman,
Yep.
he looks up at you.
Yep.
And with surprising venom says, "The mark is upon you! Beware the bringers of chaos!" And then turns and bolts.
Cool.
Do you give
Can I
chase?
like make a lunge to try and grab him?
You can try, but it is going to be hard.
It's fine.
Make for me a hard... if you don't have melee brawling, then maybe just a hard dexterity check.
Not athletics.
Yeah, sure, actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe do a hard athletics test.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take off chasing him.
Not enough, I'm afraid, Alex.
That's fine.
Not enough. He slips through your fingers. Your fingers sort of clasp at the sort of dirty rag that he is wearing, and you feel it in your palm, and then it slips out, and he's gone.
Sure, that's fine. Well, I'll continue. Yeah, we'll keep going.
You'll give chase?
Yeah, like then I'm going to keep going. Yeah.
Cool. I need all 3 of you to make for me challenging perception tests.
Ooh.
Not my greatest start.
Strong.
88. 88.
88.
I'm going to fortune that actually.
All of you rolled an 8. Corn is blessing us this evening.
It's almost like he wants us to just pound his head into the ground. That's with my fortune.
Cool. Marvellous. Alright. You spot him heading back the direction that you came from.
Cool.
So you give chase.
Continued. Yeah.
he continues running. He's got a decent lead on you at this point. Particularly with the two of you, or the three of you, I guess, technically failing, and then Wolfgang's sort of, pointing it out.
I just started running in the rough direction, and I just
so we had to
hoping someone else pointed out where I'm meant to be running.
Yeah, so you had to regroup. Go, oh no, he went that way. And
that's how I kind of see it. I'm like, oh, he's there he is, kind of thing.
So you managed to catch. I say you catch him. You catch sight of him boarding the ferry that Gehenna boarded earlier today, which is from this dock over here. At this point in time, you are basically down here, back where the Berabelli is docked.
Okay.
So,
he's getting on the ferry.
He's getting on the ferry. Yep.
So the ferry's happy to let this crazy guy just get on.
Yep. Apparently so.
Okay. Cool. I mean, can we get on the ferry as well?
You can certainly try. I will say that due to the timing, by the time you get there, the ferry that he was on has already left. So you'll have to wait for the ferry to return. For there is only one ferry.
Are there other boats? Can I do a Bar the Bowman and heroically leap from boat to boat to boat?
There are other boats.
Obviously attempt that, right?
There are other boats, but there are not enough boats that are spanning the width of the river to get the right way across.
Okay. Can I start yelling at our guy to cast off?
Yeah.
And cross the river?
Sure.
Trying to. What's his name again?
Yes.
Forgotten. Yeah.
Cool. I have also forgotten.
We all have. Okay. Guy, cast off. Cast off.
It is
cast off to the other bank. We're trying to catch someone on that ferry.
Joseph.
As we're running.
Joseph.
That's it. Joseph.
Right. He's like, all right, raise anchors, unfurl the sails. By the time you get back over, he is already holding the gangplank, but it's a short jump to make it over.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna jump. Like,
I'm not gonna make you roll for it. It's like a couple of foot. Like,
yeah.
Even Ulrich with his, let's say, vertical challenge difficulties would have no issues with making that.
I'm like, as soon as I land on the other side, I'm just gonna like lay on the ground sweating profusely and be like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. That's probably how I should have said it.
Maybe. The two of you who are not currently prone on the deck of the ship, can you make for me challenging perception tests, please, to see if you can still have eyes on the madman?
Yes.
I did drink a bit too much last night.
Just can't see him anymore. But...
Fortunately, Ulrich's only got shit hearing and not shit eyesight.
Damn right I do.
So he catches him. He is disembarked the ferry over here, and he is dashing off into the town.
Gone into the bloody town! Come on!
As soon as it looks jumpable, I'm going to try and jump across to the next.
Alright, I'm going to say it's going to be probably about... I reckon you could probably jump about 6 foot.
Yeah.
5 or 6
like
feet.
With a run up and everything, with a run up and stuff. And I'm not wearing all my armor.
No. So I'm going to say, yes, you can do that with a, let's say, challenging athletics test.
Sure. Good.
Strong. No reroll? You're just going to roll with that?
I don't have a reroll. I only have one.
Okay. Well,
so that is what I have to roll with.
You will make the jump, and you think you're going to make it, and then you fall up short, and you end up splashing down into the river.
Excellent.
You do one of those things where you run and then like you half make it, and you just like impale your chest on the edge of the jetty and then like fall backwards.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
So, by the time the barge the barge has been brought in closer, and the other two have managed to disembark with a much shorter jump, they find you sort of floating in the river, just being like, well, that hurt. And they assist in dragging you out.
I yell at them, go, chase him. I'll get myself out. It's fine. I'll catch up.
Howdy! And I leg it. I'm right up.
I take a deep breath, get on my feet, and start going.
Cool. All right, so he has disappeared off in sort of this direction. So you continue for a number of minutes. I will get perception checks from Ulrich and Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfgang, you're probably about a minute behind them.
That's fine. Yep.
Oh, my life. I want to use the fortune.
I'll use one as well.
Yeah, actually, I will. Alright, here we go.
Not the,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
my perception's not very good, but there's a chance.
There's always a
No.
chance.
No chance.
Not with these dice. Ah, fuck.
Okay. So you make it up to a sort of a confluence of like 3 different streets, and it's quite busy at this time of the morning. And you look and you can't see him. You just can't see him anywhere. Wolfgang would join you probably about a minute behind you. I'll get you to also make a challenging perception test, Alex.
Sure.
All right. You don't see him.
Yeah.
But you can see evidence that he has been here. There, sort of in the way that if someone sort of pushes through a crowd of people, everyone they're starting to sort of merge back together after having stepped out of the way, and there's lots of people just sort of looking at each other askance, like, oh, what was his problem? So you catch people making sort of that sort of expression, almost doubling back on yourself, like heading back down this direction. So you've almost like in a V, you've come to a point, and you're having to now head back towards the docks, going down a different street.
Okay.
You continue along until you do make your way into the sort of the warehouse district, where you will quite literally run into Gehenna.
Amazing.
Gehenna, actually, all of you, can I get you to make dodge tests, please?
Absolutely.
I'm going to say it's going to be
I'm terrible.
challenging for Gehenna because she's not expecting it, and it's going to be average for the other 3 of you.
Yeah, because we've been chasing, so
Oh, for fuck's sake.
you're like on guard. Yeah, I'm still in armor.
Yeah, that's more fucking like it.
Excellent.
Oh my god.
There we go. Wolfgang manages
That's
to
what we want.
with his warrior's instincts, manages to deftly sidestep Gehenna. But coming in like 2 paces behind him, Leon and Ulrich just...
It's one of those real comic book style, like, I sort
100%.
of stop, sidestep, and then they comically crash.
Crash, and there's just a pile of bodies just in front of you.
Which way did he go? Where's he gone?
What? Who?
The prophet / madman / I don't know.
The lunatic was it?
I didn't see anyone. George?
Make a charm animal test.
Difficulty average?
Challenging.
Challenging.
Oh!
Here we fucking go.
George. George has a silly hat, doesn't he?
I'm sure he has a silly hat.
To match your equally silly hat.
Yes.
I feel like he sort of writes his silly hat on his head and then sort of points back towards the jetty that you all just disembarked from.
Cool.
And as you turn to look, you do see the ferry leaving with the madman on the ferry, heading back across the river.
I hate this guy.
Are there any boats nearby that I can see?
The Barabelli
Probably
is
our
now
boat.
conveniently docked.
I am going to kill this man.
Follow that boat!
I have a question,
Shoot.
Ben.
Yep.
So, Wolfgang has a suspicion. What Wolfgang is just sort of starting to be a bit like, what is this? Like, this is weird running. Like, it's not normal to do this. Is the guy drawing like a pattern? Basically, is he doing an 8-pointed star?
Make
in
for
how
me,
he's
please.
running around the city. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't think I'd instantly recognize that, but I'm just sort of like I'm thinking with like an intuition or something, but a hard one, or I don't know what would be
Yeah, so
appropriate.
I'm thinking I need you to make 2 tests in order. I
Yeah.
think I want you to make, first off, a difficult intuition test.
Yep.
Followed by a difficult law theology test.
Doesn't matter. That's right.
Ooh.
No, make the theology test anyway.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
ooh.
So, with that, there's something scratching at the back of your mind that you're like, feels like something's going on here, and you're racking your brains thinking, is there anything in the literature that is he trying to describe a sign on the ground with his movements, and you can't think of anything in the scripture that would match the actions that he is taking.
Yeah, I can't sort of visualize the running on the street. I don't know the city that well. That
No.
makes sense. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. As I said, it's a bit of semi-meta
Oh yeah.
knowledge, kind of, but also not. Cause
No,
it's
I feel like of
my guys
all
are
of
that,
you,
like, I'm not,
you would probably know the most about Chaos Law.
Yeah, he's just talked about an 8-pointed star too, but I'm not trying to. Yeah, but I'm not trying to assume that I'd worked that out in
Yeah.
character. That's cool. No, that's great. Perfect. Yep.
All right.
I've got a hunch. I've got a hunch. The hunch is in character.
Do you try and get on the ferry, or do you reboard the Barabelli and get Joseph to sail it back across the river?
I mean, how far away is the ferry again? Is he that far ahead of us still?
So you ran into Johanna about here. The ferry
Yep.
is down here, which is also where the Barabelli is now docked.
Okay.
But the ferry has just departed, so it's heading back to here.
I put my hand on Wolfgang's shoulder and I say, he is a prophet that is going to start talking again. We will find him. We can catch him again later.
That's
Don't
true.
have to play this ping pong game.
That's true. That's true. I'll end up drowned in the river if I have to keep trying to jump after him.
I think
That's
you'll
well
find
said.
it's called Grot Ball.
What is this?
We're inventing.
You've invented the
what's
game
it
of ping
called?
pong.
He's actually a prophet of the god Niffle, and he's going to start Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. That's what's going to happen.
That's
Yeah.
what's going to happen now.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. No. Well said, Leon. Thank you.
All right. So
Great. I'm glad. I will now stop running.
he
Also,
had an
you seem
ulterior
to be
motive.
a bit out of breath. Are you well enough?
I think I have hangover.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right. So now that you have all reconvened, I assume Johanna would pass on the information about the warehouse.
Absolutely. And Anton, and the method of the killing, which was very different to how it was described.
I mean, we killed it, so
Well,
we know
yes.
I mean, technically, you didn't kill it. You killed the thing that killed it.
yes, well, if we didn't chase it, would it have gone there? I mean, it was trying to escape. It didn't really know we were chasing it, so yeah, it's not us.
I don't think we're particularly guilty in this, but it's interesting that it was killed at that warehouse, allegedly, and we found it down in the sewers.
And they have given us 2 stories.
And Sigmar has guided us to the right location by chasing this prophet or crazy man we have ended up inadvertently on the right side of the river.
I mean, sure.
I mean, Gehenna found it, right?
Oh, of course, but
George helped.
if we weren't led this way, then we wouldn't have ended up there.
Yes, and I wouldn't have been
Right.
October. I think that we should investigate that warehouse. Possibly as soon as it gets dark. It didn't look particularly well guarded. There was just one guard out the front. I reckon we could get in through an alleyway or something.
Right. Which way's the warehouse?
I shall point George like after
How-
straightening my hat.
How close to dark is it now?
It's
Ben?
still fairly early in the morning.
Okay.
I mean, we
well,
could search
if we know where it
earlier.
is, I might go
Yeah.
back to the boat and change out of my sopping wet robes. And I might put on some of my armor under my other bare shitter robes. Actually, to be honest, it'd probably be the other way around. I'd probably have my really fancy robes stored and be wearing my shit robes. So I'll probably have to put on my real fancy robes.
Nice.
Yeah, you'd be in your everyday ones.
That's it. We lost Ben.
No, I'm still here. Sorry,
Oh, no, okay.
you caught me mid-yawn.
You're just listening
Oh,
politely.
okay. Fair enough.
Well, so
Yes,
it sounds like we're all
I'm going to go
another.
back to the boat and like change and dry myself off.
Cool. All right. All right. So you do that. Fairly simple.
Yeah, that's
What do
roll to get changed.
roll to not get tangled in your robes. What is the plan then? I know you want to come back with the cover of dark to check out the warehouse. Well done. You successfully did not get tangled in your robes.
I get changed.
You get
And
changed.
I look on fleek.
You
Yes.
brush an imaginary speck of dust off of your shoulder and go, oh yes.
These are the ones that got the gold embroidering,
Yes.
embroidery and stuff around the grim and stuff. They must have been
Sigma be praised.
They've got
One for meeting the
sequins
Emperor.
galore.
So yeah, what is the plan? Do you think? You could go visit the town hall and speak with whoever of higher authority mentioned that they would speak with you.
Oh, there's that too.
You
Good
could
idea.
go back to stalking Franz Steinhager, which may or may not be a loose end. You don't know.
Now, did Gehenna tell us that it was one of his warehouses that the goblin was found in?
Gehenna.
Or did we already know
Oh.
that?
Did you pass that information on?
Of course I would have. I'm very diligent in that regard. With gossip,
Sure.
except when I'm rolling badly. Guys, you would not believe who this warehouse belongs to. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this warehouse, you guys. Yeah.
I should make a city where everyone is Valley Girls. That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. Just an entirely Valley Girls campaign
That's the
where we are
moose,
also
isn't
also Valley Girls.
Isn't that
That's
the
a
like
moose.
7th layer of hell?
No, the
Uh,
moose is
Oh my
Dublin,
god,
surely.
yeah!
It was a whole outland of like,
I hate it so much. I hate it so
It's,
much.
no, it's LA.
Oh,
I reckon maybe Nuln could be that. That could be funny. If
Yeah.
you go to Nuln, they're all just
Amazing,
like
yeah.
just Valley Girl accents.
Oh my god, I fell over.
Oh my god,
That's
have you
what
heard the
like.
Imperial gunnery skill? The Royal Engineers card. is
now
so
there's
hard.
only 8 steam tanks left.
Oh my god, but how many are operational?
Alright, sorry, we're getting sidetracked with
That's fine.
we've somehow landed in South California.
What a fun
Alright,
trip.
so yeah, what's the plan? Are you going to go to the town hall, or are you going to try and do some more snooping about Steinhager, or any other thing that takes your fancy whilst you're in the city?
And town hall would make sense because we've
Yeah.
we basically have an appointment, I guess, really.
Yep.
Of sorts.
Yeah, that
Hold
seems
the guy to
sensible.
the appointment.
Yeah.
That's what others want to do.
Cool. Anyone else have any
Yeah.
other plans, or are they all wanting to get on board for this meeting at the town hall?
I'm along for the ride.
Yep. I'll chill in the town hall. Why not?
Cool. All right. Let me get my notes up for the town hall. Okay. All right. So you return to the town hall. You have to either convince Joseph to sail the boat back over, or take the ferry, whichever you choose.
Couldn't do both, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's funnier.
It's funnier.
He's probably put up with our shenanigans. He knows what we're about.
Well, you did save his boat
Plus-
from
That's true.
being burnt to a crisp, so I guess he kind of feels at least somewhat indebted to you.
He owes us.
How
How
far
many
that debt will
crossings
go.
of the river does he owe us? How many times is too many? And he's like, nah, fuck off.
Yeah, how many times he is pushing it? That's a real question.
Pushing the boat out.
Alright, you've wend your way through the town and make your way back to the town hall. Upon arrival, the same rather surly clerk from the previous day ignores you for 10 minutes.
Yay.
And eventually he looks up and goes, You've returned, I see. Councillor Toygan will be with you shortly if you would take a seat.
I will take a seat.
And you will have to wait for 23 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
That's alright. I'm gonna amuse myself by doing tricks with George.
Could be hunting
Teach him
down
how
a
to throw his-
troll right now.
Throw his
Oh,
little hat in the air and catch it in a celebratory manner, because that's adorable.
maybe the bureaucracy will kill me. Maybe that'll be good for me fucking honour. Oh.
What rank of Slayer is that? The bureaucracy Slayer.
Bureaucracy Slayer. I think
I don't
that
know, if you're up
falls-
against like a petty clerk.
I think it falls just below a ghoul slayer.
Ooh,
Because ghouls are
cool.
basically just cannibals.
Isn't it an anime? Ghoul Slayer.
It may well be.
There's Goblin Slayer.
Now there is.
I think.
you have to get
I'm
Tokyo
mixing it
Ghoul.
up with Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sad that I know that.
I'm sad you know that too.
I'm sad you
Yeah, I
mentioned
know
it on
you are.
stream.
I can feel the disappointment.
I respect that.
We're
you know
gonna
that.
get more followers, but they're not gonna be the
They're
kind
not
of
going to
people
be the type
we
of
like.
followers I need here. They will not be welcome here. Alright, so after 23 minutes of waiting, a very quiet bell is heard. The clerk disappears into a office door and then reappears and says, Councillor Toygan will see you now. Come through. And he ushers you
Wunderbar.
into a dark office.
I mean, it's not. It can't be that dark. I'm a dwarf. I can, you know.
No,
I got
it's
the eyes.
it's relatively dark in there. The curtains are drawn. You can only really see the silhouette of the councillor sitting behind his desk.
Oh, interesting.
The only one of you who has
Ruddy mysterious.
That is ruddy mysterious. The only one of you who has night vision, obviously, is Ulrich. So you can see him. You can't really see his features, but you can see him better than the rest of you can. The rest of you
Yeah.
will need to wait for your eyes to adjust before you can truly see them. But Toygan says, "Good day, please come. Close the door behind you. My apologies for the darkness, but I have a terrible headache." And he motions for 4 chairs that are put out in front of his desk.
Thank you,
Oh,
Councillor.
seat.
Blessings of Sigmar upon you.
And upon you.
And I'm going to choose not to sit.
Sure. Okay.
So that I can kind of like loom, and I'm going to try and get like slightly socially inappropriately close to the desk.
Sure.
I will sit down.
I assume the other 2 of you sit down.
Yes.
Cool.
Mhm.
So as the last of you sits, and it becomes evident that Wolfgang is not going to sit, the councillor reaches out with a very pale hand and grabs a goblet containing a rather dark red liquid and takes a swig. Would you care for some?
Can we smell it from here?
Make a challenging perception test. Steph, being that it's scent based, make that an easy perception test.
I'm just going to say, of course, thank you very much,
Sure.
and accept it.
And I'm
And a
gonna
sip
and ah.
Just
Well,
for
The best cure for hangover is more alcohol, right? And I'll reach over.
the. I inhale the entire room.
It is a rather full-bodied red wine that you can smell.
The Johanna
will
can tell
gladly-
exactly where it came from.
Exactly
and
what
what's in
region
it
of Estalia that it was grown in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
So
accept.
I'll gladly accept some.
he pours you. All 4 of you have accepted. Yes. He
Yes.
very kindly pours for you, all 4 of you, a goblet of this rather fine Estalian red, and it's some of the best wine that any of you have ever drunk, quite comfortably.
Awesome.
And he says, "Well, what can I do for you?"
I'm gonna do none of the talking because it did not go well last time I did that.
We have come to discuss the matter of the goblin. And someone's got the pelvis, right?
Yeah,
I went and got it back off the guy.
that's right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna gesture for someone to like produce the pelvis.
I'll pull my sack around and have a rummage through and pull it out. I'm not just like carrying a pelvis around in my head.
So he says, yes, I see you do indeed have a, well, you do appear to have a pelvis. Does appear to have 3 sockets, but who knows what sort of damage is received. It was, however, as mentioned by the clerk already, that the reward was conditional upon the safe recovery of the goblin, which, unfortunately, you failed to do so.
I don't believe that was part of the discussion at all.
The safe recovery.
I think, was it not dead or alive? I'm pretty sure it was.
No, my good man, Mr. Mr. Malthusius, wished for us to return to his wonderful menagerie as his star attraction, and now that it is deceased, it can no longer be his star attraction.
But that comes to the next part of the point, which is that surely you would not wish to have a 3-legged goblin running amok around your city.
A fair point, Master Priest, a fair point indeed. And
yet we've heard the story that it was recovered from a warehouse, and yet we have the body.
well,
Or
you
have the final remains.
you have a pelvis. Whether or not that pelvis belongs to a goblin remains to be seen.
Well, where is the body of the goblin then?
That is being held by the town watch.
this is where I have to say I don't believe you.
Well, I'm certainly not trying to mislead you, sir, or tell you any falsehoods. I am just simply telling you the facts as they have been presented to me. I am, as you're probably well aware, a very busy councilman, and I do not oversee every single affair that happens in my city. Sometimes I have various different, underlings who look after certain things for me, and he informed me in no uncertain terms that it was taken care of, that the body was currently residing with the town watch after having been recovered from a warehouse on the opposite side of the river. And he smiles in a vaguely patronizing manner. Who passed the perception test before? It was Gehenna. Gehenna, you spot that his canines appear to be vaguely pointed.
Given that, like, we've killed a vampire before, would any of this would this have any would that have any importance, any significance?
The teeth?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done a perception check because I didn't worry about the wine. I was just going to drink the wine.
It really depends on whether or not Gehenna would remember having faced the vampire. It was quite some time ago.
It's true.
Several years at this point.
Should I roll for it?
Yeah, you know what? Make for me, do you have, make for me just a challenging intelligence test.
I mean, I know it's several years. I know we've faced some pretty fucked up shit, but also, like, I think that Wolfgang definitely remembers helping to kill a vampire, because that's a big deal.
I have no memory of this.
Funny that.
Yeah.
What was the difficulty, sorry?
Challenging.
Challenging, thank you.
Or
Sadly not. You see the pointed teeth. You find
I
that
think it's odd, but
you think it's odd, but yeah, that's about as far as it goes. Okay. You do spot the teeth.
Yeah.
And you are fairly certain that Wolfgang would remember that.
I am, given that I think I killed
Janet
it.
drinks too much.
I think that was one of the main ones that killed it. But
I'm fairly certain
I very much
you are.
remember doing the big chant, saving us because of scariness, and killing it, like helping kill it with a dagger.
Yes, I believe that is
And as I
the
said,
case.
Wolfgang, as much as we've faced demons and all manner of stuff, and Babracos and whatnot, he's not
A
going to forget the fact
vampire's
that he helped
pretty-
kill a vampire
Yep.
in a kind of weird slum house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Alright, well, you see the teeth. He's got pale
Yep.
skin. He's sitting in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make of that what you
Ah.
will.
I will make of that what I will. That's fine. So this obviously all happens mid-conversation. He says the patronising thing.
Yeah.
And I go, well, it's interesting then, because it seems that we are getting conflicting information from the different people we talk to, and from our own evidence and our own experience of chasing this goblin. And I can assure you, we chased this goblin nowhere near the side of the river and where it was allegedly found.
Indeed. Do tell.
So
I would love to
be,
hear.
if I was a councillor of a town, I would be very concerned to hear of the location.
I would be very interested to hear of this, of your tale. My clerk only passed on the barest of details, but please, have more wine if you wish, and regale me of your adventures chasing this goblin.
But as I did mention, I've sipped the wine, like enough to acknowledge where it's from, but I'm not really drinking it. I'm just kind of like, I'm trying to socially look like I'm drinking and whatever.
Yeah,
But-
no, that's fine. The other three of you? I've got 2 alcoholics in this party, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to be
Oh, I'm
surprised.
sorry. Are you assuming I didn't immediately down it? Is
Yeah.
that
Well,
right.
wine's not your thing, but
no? But I mean, it's alcoholic. So
it's alcoholic.
But good wine.
anything to soothe the pain of the dishonor and shame that I feel, it goes right down the hatch.
Good wine would be fine, surely, right?
Well, I mean, if
Good for you.
it's fermented enough to turn into alcohol, I think he'll drink it, no matter what it is.
As I said, Leon's hair of a dog.
Leon is hair of the dog, probably.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm drinking it. Like, if it gets to like 5 minutes of conversation, I will get another glass.
yeah.
I'm not like downing it and trying to get as much out of it as I can. I'm just drinking it. If my glass gets empty, I will drink again.
Yeah. All right. So the other three of you then will retop up your goblets and have another drink.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I will, if you will,
so
consume alcohol.
whilst you are, I won't need you to consume alcohol just yet.
Okay.
You can have like drinks up to your toughness bonus or something like that. I can't remember.
Something like that, yeah.
All right. So you.
I'm going to start telling the story
Yep.
of chasing it into the sewers.
Yep.
And I'm going to obviously embellish the tale somewhat.
Sure.
In the sense of we could see it. It was then it would go around the corner, and then we raced around the corner, and it was there again. We chased it. It scrambled into a weird door. There was the big explosion. We all, ducked for cover kind of thing. Ran over to the door to find the goblin blown to bits. The pelvis being one of the most recoverable bits of goblin from the exploded.
Cool.
And that's the story I'm going to tell.
Make for me.
Which other people can attempt to add to if they want to or not, but that's what I'm attempting.
All right. Make for me an average charm test as you try and spin this tale that is partially false.
Yeah.
And I will.
Could I argue, sorry, Ben, that it's the storytelling skill?
Most certainly. Make an average.
I wasn't trying to
storytelling
angle
test.
for that. I just noticed that I have specific
by all means.
advances in the storytelling skill.
Well,
'cause
in
it is a
that
free
case,
skill.
make an average storytelling test.
Okay. Oh,
Oh,
damn it.
that's rough.
Yep.
I really thought that I had done this guy's character, but I guess I have not. Cool. Okay, that's fine. I will just make a roll. He will oppose that with his willpower.
Sure. Also, while that's happening, I'm trying to rack my brains, possibly why I'm a bit distracted in telling the story, of like remembering shit about vampires.
Yeah.
What would I need to roll to remember about vampires, or sort of like know what they might be weak, likely to like what their know their nature, as it were.
I'm going to boldly assume you don't have law vampires.
Correct. Yes.
Would there be much in the workings of Sigmar about vampires? There'd probably be some.
Yeah, like, because the Silver Hammer and the Witch Hunters, they don't like vampires either, and they're part of Templars. Like, they're, Templars of Sigmar, technically.
Yeah. I would say...
But not.
Make a difficult law theology test.
Sure.
Because it's not likely that it's going to necessarily crop up.
No, like, it's not unknown. Like, what's the...
Oh!
I mean, you
Right.
probably read a lot of stuff in your life, whether
Yeah.
just you managed to pull that information or not.
That's it, mate. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like, what bits pop out into my head. And I'm guessing a fair bit by that.
Yeah, so he... I'm actually quite taken with your... I've managed to find his willpower stat.
Cool.
He's actually quite taken with your story, despite the fact that it is has some rather blatant falsehoods.
Objectively, terrible story, yeah.
Good fun.
And whilst you're reeling off this story, you're thinking about, what do I remember about vampires? What are their weaknesses? Silver? signs of Sigma, like emblems and iconography of Sigma, and daylight being the main one.
Oh, that's why it was so dark in there.
It was a, was it? We fought a demon, right? What was it?
In the room,
That room.
under the sewers. It was a demon, yes.
It was Slaneshi, wasn't it? It had pincers and shit.
It was Zinchian, actually.
That's right, it was Bird. That's right. Or a blue
Wait,
horror.
Bird was
You're
indeed
not
the
going
word.
to mention the bird thing that we killed?
And I'll just like...
I'm like not aware that you're trying to start talking about it,
that's-
and
no,
I'm
no, I
like
love it, I love it.
confused.
I love it. Where's the window?
Seagull?
Directly behind him and slightly to his left.
He hasn't actually offered us any violence as of yet.
Yeah, that's not going to matter to a priest of Sigmar, though, in fairness.
Is it
Yeah.
a horrible threat to humanity? Empire?
But he
Like,
does drink wine.
And it's nice wine.
It's very nice wine indeed.
What do you mean, the bird thing? I'm gonna try and recover quickly and sort of I'm gonna turn away from him and look bang at Leon and be like, "What do you mean? Which bird thing?" The
Can I get from the two of you? From Wolfgang, I want an average intimidate check, and
Sure.
from Leon, I
What
need
do you
a
mean?
challenging cool test.
Cool. I don't mind. I'm better at it, but I thought it was going to be intuition.
Oh, he's trying to be
Challenging
mean.
cool.
Yeah.
Challenging cool test. Yep. Oh dear. The stern look that Wolfgang gives you with the raised eyebrow. You know that scene in The Lord of the Rings when the two, Merry and Pippin, run into the Council of Elrond, and Elrond just has this furious look on his face?
Eh,
Like these fucking hobbits. That's the face that Wolfgang gives you. So
Are
I
you
just do one of
fucking
those
full of a-
like wide eye things and like lean back in my chair and be like, never mind.
it's nice.
just like super sarcastic. I love it.
Like I'm busted, but I don't understand why you're so mad.
That's it. That's it. You know, I love it. I love it.
Alright, so, after hearing your tale, Toygan says, well, as for this, the goblin in the sewers, well, look, I cannot say whether or not you did or did not chase a goblin into the sewers. The only proof you have...
We sure fucking did.
The only proof that you have to prove that you encountered the goblin at all is a desiccated pelvis.
New quiz night name. Desiccated pelvis.
There it is. As for there being rooms off the sewers, well, many of the more wealthy merchants about town have private shrines in their cellars, and many of their cellars open out directly into the sewers for easy access and cleaning.
Ugh.
He does look at you all for a moment and then says, however, he will reach into to his side and open up a drawer on his desk.
As he does, I'm gonna sort of like get out, make sure my holy symbol's like properly outside of my robes, like on its chain, hanging around my neck.
Yep. So obviously his eyes are off of you at the time. He reaches down into his drawer and he pulls out a coin pouch, closes the drawer, looks back at you, notices clocks the symbol.
Yep.
Nothing happens. And
I
he
know it's not
says,
going to magically mate. He's not going to go, you know. And again, it's not like that. Yeah, it's not like Camp 60s Dracula.
you don't know that. Maybe that's the type of vampires I like to run with.
The Von Kampstein.
The Von Kampsteins, yes. So he says, be that as it may, considering your persistence and the fact that you have presented a very well eloquently spoken case, and he says with a nod in your direction, Wolfgang, I am feeling somewhat benevolent. And I will reward you for your time. This should hopefully cover expenses and your efforts. And he gives each of you 10 shillings.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cool.
I'll
Does he
take
touch the silver?
Yes.
Okay.
it. Ooh.
All right.
Is he wearing gloves? No.
Nope.
Hey, look, I'm not gonna look a gift vampire in the mouth.
All right.
Is there anything else you wanted to bring up to him whilst you are here?
Not really. I'm kind of good.
Yeah.
I've had my wine.
I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna say, look, it would be very
Oh,
that's
Jesus.
incredibly generous of you, and it would be very remiss of me to not offer up a prayer to Sigmar, to the Empire which we both serve, the Empire which you serve nobly, as a councillor of this great town of Bögenhafen. And I'm just gonna start praying,
Oh, Jesus.
loudly and gestures and everything.
All right.
And I'm just trying to find what one of my particular blessings that would be appropriate would be.
Half
I
of
like-
aggressive blessing.
As soon as he starts doing his whole prayer thing, I just exhale loudly, take the mouth, another sip full of my wine,
Yeah.
or mouthful.
I'm going for a blessing of righteousness.
Sure.
And I'm targeting my weapon,
Yep.
which is hanging at my side.
Yep.
But more just talking about the righteousness of Sigmar and the righteousness of the people of the Empire,
Yep.
and how we bond together in the light of the twin-tailed comet.
Mhm.
As much as you guys all roll your eyes, it's a tangible,
does-
real thing,
I know it
observable in the
works,
world.
but,
Sigmar was a guy. This isn't like Jesus wasn't real. He was actually legit, right?
Yeah,
Spy
Isaac
thing.
Newton's still kind of a lame dude. Oh my god!
Do you?
I mean,
do you think he's lame?
Jesus was real. He might not have done all of the stuff in the
No,
Bible.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
Let's not
yeah.
get too heavy on that.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
So,
Anyway, back to fantasy.
he.
I mean, that is fantasy, to be fair, as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean,
Very true.
But
That's very true.
anyway,
He
let's not.
he sits there rather patiently,
Jeez.
with a again sort of vaguely patronising smile on his face as you complete your blessing.
I'm lost in the source. I'm not really. I can't
No,
really see it.
of course. No, of course. But so he sits there. I mean, I guess the other three of you would probably notice that he has this vaguely patronising smile whilst Wolfgang is doing his blessing.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
just
put it
going to be
all
very
into my hammer.
studiously sipping my wine.
I give him a vaguely patronising smile back.
And he sort of sees the smile and nods at you with again a sort of patronising sort of yes. We both know that we're both just playing a game here. And when you finish, he's like, well, thank you, Master Priest. It's always wonderful to receive a blessing directly from one of Sigmar's chosen. Now, if there is
I'm gonna reach out to him with
Yep.
a twin tail comet to bless him like a priest would, do the cross on you.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna reach out to him to like twin tail combat, so like fist with fingers,
Yep.
and like do a hammer, like and actually try and touch him.
Yeah, by all means. You do so. I will say.
Like to conclude my prayer.
Yeah, I will say, with your sixth sense ability, you do feel that there is something vaguely off about him. But you lay hands upon him.
Yep.
He doesn't burst into flames. He doesn't start shrieking. To the touch, he is slightly clammy, but otherwise he seems like a normal mortal man. And he's not cold.
Very
Is what I'm getting at. He's not cold like a vampire would be.
No, that's fine. That's fine. All good. Yeah. I as I said, I'm gonna do what Wolfgang would do. I would be bold and attempt it.
Yep.
And then do my blessing. Feel fucking sick that I did my blessing.
Yep.
I reckon my hammer's probably just fucking like glowing.
It's just like
Fucking
this
lightsaber
radiating
hammer.
light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear lord.
And he says, well, if there is no further business, then I would,
Like you all
I-
very much to leave.
I do have a great deal that I have to be getting on with, being a town councillor. So if there is nothing else, and he reaches forward to pick up the bell that's sitting on his desk.
No. Well, I will bow graciously, and we'll leave.
Thank you for the wine. If you ever need assistance or a task completed, we are more than willing. Well, at least I am.
Ah,
As long as there is pay. And I nod.
well,
Totally.
I may actually have a task for you, now that you mention it. And he retracts his hand from the bell. And he says, well, I am actually in need of someone to take a message to... and his name has gone from my brain. Give me 1 second. It is the Guildmaster of the Merchants Guild, Frederick Magirius.
We haven't pissed him off, have we?
No, you have heard the name, but you've not actually met him yet.
We'll
Frederick?
soon piss him off.
Furious.
I would be happy to do this.
Excellent. And he scrawls out a note and hands it to you. I'll make it visible to all of you in just a second. And he says, you'll find him at the Merchants Guild. Hand him this
Wonderful.
and let him know
Can't
that
wait to read it.
I look forward to seeing him soon.
Okay. Is there like in a sealed envelope or anything?
Nope, just a little scrip of parchment. I am going to make it visible to all of you now.
Well, I'll roll it up and
Imagine
bow
if it was just kill them all. It's a real power move.
I was gonna say, is this just an invitation for a massive orgy? Like,
You wouldn't know because you can't read it.
exactly. I'd be like,
vampire
I
lovers,
also
they're all
cannot
just
read it.
The thing is, though,
I can see a pointed star with a goat skull or goat head in it.
I
and that's
may.
weird.
Maybe he thinks none of us can read, except maybe the priest.
Well, we won't. I'm assuming you take it and just tuck it in, right?
At this stage, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we'll.
I'm not gonna read it in
Just
front of his
keep it.
face.
Look in front of me. Who can read?
I mean, yeah, I can't also read, so.
Well, he will.
I said that I was going to read something today.
Yeah. After that, you he's like, well, pleasure speaking with you, and should you require anything further, feel free to leave a message with the clerk at the front desk. And then he reaches forward and rings the little bell, and within a few moments, the door to the office is opened, and the clerk ushers you out of the office.
Right.
Yes.
I like him. He seems fun.
Excellent
I'm
vintage.
I'm still half lost in the sauce from my excellent.
It's like,
The
I just
afterglow.
like Sigma like so fucking much. I'm just like fucking hammers, man. Yeah.
You've got the
I'm
power
like,
of
I'm
God and
twin
anime
tower
on your
commenting.
side.
I agree.
Ah!
I am twin tower commenting everyone. I'm hammering it. I'm just like, oh yeah.
I'm just, yeah. What? Amazing.
I guess once we leave the council house though,
See the
I
paper.
instantly start explaining to Leon and reminding Johanna and Ulrich of the vampire that we defeated. And I tell the
And
whole
I'm
story
like,
to
oh my
Leon
god.
as we. I mean, are we going back towards the boat? What are we doing?
I suppose we should, like, kind of regroup at the boat just to figure out what we want to do.
Yeah, right. And next you'll tell me that dragon ogres are real.
Well, we haven't met them yet, but maybe.
I can't
I'm
speak for that. But I
I'm
assure you,
assuming that like vampires are not common. Like they're like a myth.
no, the Vampire Wars were very much a well-known piece of history.
Oh, because we're further in history.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so vampires are very well known. The name of Vlad von Carstein and most of Vlad von Carstein, Isabella von Carstein,
Conrad, I think.
Conrad von Carstein, but those
No,
von
I
Carsteins.
don't know what year it is. What year is it?
It is 2520. But like these names, have echoed down through history, right? So,
Yeah. Then I'll take that.
you would definitely know of vampires. The Vampire Wars, at the very least, is
Yes, you
is
know
common
that. Yes,
knowledge.
Conrad's the second Vampire War, so absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And probably Manfred once.
Yeah.
Because he keeps bouncing back.
Yeah, so
The
that's
the boomerang.
that would be
vampire, yeah.
common knowledge, and like the name von Carstein at the very least would be fairly common knowledge, unless you lived in like a small town in the middle of fucking nowhere, you'd have definitely heard of them. All right, so what is the intention? Do you want to deliver this message to Guildmaster Megirius, or do you want to try and track down that madman that you ran into earlier? It's probably midday by this point.
I'm assuming you've shown us that the paper.
I
Right?
will. Yeah. First, show everyone the note. Weird the logo, right?
Do I have any kind of theological insight into that, Ben?
If you want to make a test on that, you can make a test. Let's
Yep.
go a challenging law theology test. The
Yep.
rest of you can make make for me a challenging intuition test.
Ooh.
Nice.
Let's see if I know shit.
Nice.
Yeah, marginally.
Um,
I'll take it.
Ulrich and Johanna, you feel like you've seen this symbol before. And recently.
Was it on the door?
No, it must have been somewhere else last day.
No, because the door was an 8-pointed star.
No, that's right. This is only 7.
Not like in
Ah.
the last couple days recently, but like in the last couple weeks. Maybe. Possible?
These rolls should really be, like, actually put on player memory.
Oh,
Mine would always be challenging.
mine would always be almost impossible. So,
Would we remember?
I mean, so many things.
There's a lot of stuff that's happened.
Ben,
Hello.
do I have a general time frame of when I last saw it?
Yeah, within the last couple of days.
Within the last couple days.
Yep.
Would it have been down in the sewers?
Was it? What was the symbol on the handkerchief?
There was no symbol on the handkerchief. It was just
thought
a
there was.
Oh
monogram.
no, it's the
Letters.
SS thingy or whatever it
Yeah, it
was.
was just a monogram
Yeah.
on the handkerchief.
FS. Yeah, that's right.
That's
Um,
very different.
I'm going to put you out of your misery because you're sort of like stumbling around in the dark. It was it is but bears a striking similarity to the symbol that was on the floor of the room where you faced the demon.
Ah, of course.
Because not only was there a star surrounded by a circle, there was also in the center of the floor, before it disappeared in a puff of smoke, a rather large goat's head.
Hmm.
That's right.
Very intriguing.
Now, this
Most
point, this
intriguing.
has 9 points as opposed to 8, but the similarities are probably greater than the differences.
Yeah. Huh.
Hmm.
I'll.
Ugh, my head. So we need to like find out where Toygan's house is, right? Or can we try and follow him, or pay an urchin that knows where his house is? Because some of us are likely to trip over and make a fool of ourselves trying to follow him.
Wait, where are we following Toygan now?
Well, look
I
at
don't
the
think we
symbol.
should
I mean,
follow
what
anyone.
it looks, it just, I don't remember where we've seen it, but it looks wrong. Plus the whole vampire thing.
Well,
And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to go to the merchant quarter or head of the merchant or whatever and find
Of
the
Oh
course.
yeah,
guy.
we can
of
follow them,
course, we deliver the message. Of course we deliver.
and then
Right.
we can track them after hours.
Aye.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, you make your way towards the Merchants Guild. Right. I should have my list of where everything is, but I don't have it in front of me. Masons Guild. No. It is in the Drekplatz, which is cool. Actually, not far away from where you are.
That's
Guilds. Right, so you make your way. So you were at the town hall, which is, if I ping on my map here, the Drakeplatz is just over here. So not very far away at all. You wander over and you find the rather majestically built Merchants Guild. Let me see if I have any information about it. It is unnecessarily large and ostentatious. Multi-storied. Most of the, if not all of the merchant houses have offices here. And there is a constant stream of people moving in and out, either local or visitors, conducting trade or making exchanges. And in the sort of entrance as you arrive, there are lots of tables set up where people are making deals, wheeling dealing.
Both wheeling and dealing.
I forgot to write down that guy's name.
It's
It's
Frederick Brigurius.
If you want me to put it in the chat, I can. One sec.
Yeah, that would be handy.
yes, please.
It is.
Frederick Brigurius.
when's my there we go.
So, as you approach the main entrance hall of the Merchants Guild, there is a clerk sitting at a desk. This clerk is carved with imperial crosses.
The clerk is or the desk is?
The desk is.
I was gonna say the flagellant.
damn.
Yeah, he's a
Cutting
full
Yeah.
right flagellant. Yeah.
Ah!
um, what do you do?
I go up to the clerk and I say, "Good day, sir. I have a note to give to Frederick Magirius from the Counselor. Could you point me in his direction?"
And without looking up, he says, Guildmaster Megurius is a very busy man. He doesn't necessarily have time to see every individual messenger who brings a message. Leave it here, and I shall ensure that he gets it.
I will not leave it here, and I will hand it to him in person as I have been requested by the Counselor.
With that, the clerk, looks up at you and says, Councillor Toygan, is it?
Yes.
Very well. Wait here a moment. And you are left waiting for approximately 15 minutes. I like waiting in this town.
I am incredibly bored.
Reichland? Are we in Reichland?
Yeah, you're in the Reichlands.
Yeah.
So this basically we're just in an office.
Well, you're not in an
Right
office
now?
yet. You're currently waiting at a front desk to be allowed into
Is there
an
anything
office.
around?
Not really. You can see people inside the sort of guild hall itself, like, as I said, wheeling dealing, making deals, taking names.
Are there any books nearby I can beat myself to death with boredom? Is there like a...
I mean, there's a ledger that the clerk had on his desk.
Oh, I can't use that. Oh, I need something thicker with more spikes to penetrate my thick skin.
Can if you're not a coward.
Use the spine. Use the spine.
Just the whispers of corn, just paper cut under your fingernails, just whatever makes the blood flow.
It's that Slanesh. I don't know.
You want to remove those corruption
Probably
points,
both of
don't you?
So after 15 minutes passes, the clerk returns and says, "If you will follow me, please," and he leads you into Megurius's office. As you enter, he stands up, introduces himself. He says, "Welcome, welcome. I understand you have a message here from the councillor. I am Frederick Megurius, the guild master of the Merchants Guild. Please, have a seat. Have a seat."
I am Leon Sogard. I have this message from the Chancellor. Organ, I'm not great with names. I don't really need to sit, but here is the note, and he says he looks forward to seeing you.
Do you give him the note, or do you just hold it in front of him?
I'm like handing it like towards him. It's like rolled up into like a cylinder, and I'm like handing it to him.
Okay. He unfurls it, looks at it. His eyes widen ever so slightly.
Is he a vampire weeb? Like the other guy?
Make an intuition test.
Thank you.
It'll be difficult.
Yeah, that's fine. But he's not sitting in a dark room in red
Nope.
velvet with
No,
organ
it's
music
a
playing, drinking
brightly
wine.
lit room.
Yeah.
It doesn't have windows. I will say this room doesn't have windows, but it is brightly lit.
Yeah.
He just seems like a guy.
He's a guy. Yep.
And he sort of looks at it and says, "Ah, did you happen to look at the note prior to handing it to me?"
Well, I did, but I also cannot read, so I mean,
Oh,
it
well,
looked like a piece of paper.
that's very fortunate. And he sort of nervously flicks his eyes at the other two of you. The three of you, sorry.
I will sort of say it's true. He can't read, and no, I didn't read the note. Like but no, I won't say exactly. I'll just sort of when he says I can't read, I'll just sort of like kind of behind his back kind of go like, it's true, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you for delivering the message. That is it's very good of you.
Not to worry.
Well, if there is nothing else that you are here for, if there's no other pressing business, you have no business concerns of your own.
Well, I am always looking for work, but if you have nothing for me, then I will be on my way.
I love the notion that Leon is just constantly trying to get away from these guys, but can't find a good enough offer.
I just need money.
It's just like, these guys are fucking always getting me into trouble and nearly getting themselves killed. And I've nearly gotten me killed. I just want out. I want no
Yeah,
part of it.
I just need some money. Get me a boat ride home, please.
Get me away from these
I've been
fucking
in jail
lunatics.
for 2 years. I met these guys for 30 days. I knew them, and I was in jail for 2 years because of it.
Get me the fuck away from
we
these
got on
people.
alright for about a month, and then it was just like, then we were in jail for 2 years. Yeah, incredible. I might actually pipe up at this point and just say, while I've got you, very briefly, and I'll introduce myself. What's the name of the guy who I think is Stodge?
The councillor or the one you were scouting out the
No,
previous day?
the one you were scanning out before.
Franz Steinhager.
Okay, because he's a merchant, and I know that this guy's like head of the Merchants Guild.
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm going to say, I'm again going to go for a bit of a tale, but I'm going to talk about how, I don't know whether this guy's heard of the story or not, but there was a three-legged goblin, escaped from the thing. I know he's got much busier things to do. I'll be very quick, promise you. Three-legged goblin escaped. We were tasked with tracking it down. We tracked it down. We defeated said goblin, but we found, and I will then flamboyantly gesture from within inside my pouch.
Yeah.
The monogrammed, and this is what I say, the monogrammed handkerchief of the guy's name, who I've instantly forgotten. Sorry.
Make for me a average not a storytelling
Thank you.
test. Nice. I will make a wrong one. Where are you? Megarius. He will make a oof. He enjoys your story. Ah, yes. Well, I mean, there are many individuals who have the initials of FS. It couldn't possibly be Master Steinhager. I have known him for many years. He's a... And what would he have to do with...
Well, that is very good to hear. I was concerned that it was him. Because that was the only name that I'd been given, and I was concerned, obviously, as you must be, that your friend would be associated with something so distasteful. But I am heartened to hear that that's not the case.
Well, weren't we concerned, like, because it could possibly be a forgery, and someone could be framing him.
True. Well
Indeed.
said.
This is,
Does he have any enemies? And I'll, you know.
Well, I mean, there are always, amongst particularly the main four guilds, the main four merchant houses, there are always petty rivalries between them. You know, one may have one year scored a deal that one of the other merchants had desperately sought after and have been double crossed, and then with the flow of trade and time, things turn this way and that. So there is always a perpetual flux of alliances and betrayals and hidden romances and you know, back alley dealings. But none of them particularly spring to mind at the moment as being enemies of Franz. No one who would willingly do something to this extent to set him up.
Well, we'll have to continue our search.
Yes, yes indeed. Well, if there's nothing else that you wish to speak with me about, I do actually have some business that I would need to attend to.
Not a
Of
problem.
course.
Of course.
Very well. Thank you for the delivery of the letter. I shall also look forward to seeing Councillor Toygan.
Great. I just leave.
Go.
I realize I'm probably not getting paid for this, but it doesn't hurt. It was literally walking, so whatever.
Alright, so that's it, you all leave?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Alright. So it's now the afternoon. What
Actually,
Hmm?
sorry, I will leave the building, but I'm gonna wait outside
Okay.
and see
I
if I
was-
see him leave.
I
Yep.
was gonna do the same thing.
Sure.
Toygan seems clever and hard to track. This guy seems more human and easy to follow.
Yeah.
Very much what I intend to do.
Can I, if you guys are like waiting to stalk him, can I pull out my old bounty hunter knowledge and be like, what are you doing, lads? What, you're just standing there? You're gonna get spotted. Come over here. Come on. I know what you're doing. Standing there all searching lakes. Go on.
Excellent. Please.
I mean, I am a guard, right? Like, I look for people like being suspicious, but I don't know what to do to
Hey,
not
lad,
be suspicious.
guards are symbols. They're meant to be imposing. A bounty hunter, someone that tracks down the humans. Unseen is the best way. Now get behind that bush.
I just stand behind the bush. I don't crouch. And then I'm
Alright.
like, look over, and then I like crouch down.
All right, maybe a tree's better for you, laddie.
Alright, well, so that's the plan. You're just going to stake this place out for a bit?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, just because he seemed a bit skittish after I gave him the note,
Yeah.
a little bit. So
Plus, we
I'm
know
just-
what the note says.
yeah.
Alright, well, I'll get you, if any of you have stealth urban, you may make a average stealth urban test. Otherwise, you can make for me a challenging dexterity test to see how well you hide yourselves.
There it is. Boom.
Ooh.
I probably shouldn't be hiding. I should probably just retreat to a safe distance, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, so only the former bounty hunter successfully hides himself. The other three of you are standing around like beanpoles.
I'm
Yes,
wearing my
those are
fancy robes. I probably stand
You
out
probably
like a
stand
sore
out.
thumb. Yeah.
I imagine though that after a bit of time, Wolfgang, Leon, and Johanna realise that they're clearly not doing a great job of hiding, and they'll spot a like a bar or tavern, if you will, across the way that has like a sort of beer garden out the front, and it's definitely within eye line of the Merchants Guild. So if you want to sort of sit there and nurse an ale and sort of keep an eye out, it'll be far less inconspicuous. Ulrich, however, is doing an excellent job of just skulking around a corner and hiding.
We don't even know where he is.
So he can stay as he is, or he can join you. Entirely up to you. I mean, there's the promise of ale obviously will likely drag him along, but
Yeah, the first half is just like me being like, all right, bounty hunter, what did I do? Ah, yes, skulking at night. And then I see them just going for a beer, and I'm like, I could go and drink though, laddie. Kill two
I like to
birds with
think
one
when
stone.
when I was crouched in the bush, my halberd on my back is just sticking up like a flagpole.
Amazing.
All right. So the lot of you go and sit at a table in this beer garden and sort of just, nurse ales for the remainder of the afternoon. Johanna and Wolfgang, you both have the sixth
Yes.
sense talent, correct?
We do.
Do any
I
of
also do.
you also do?
Nice.
Yeah,
Right.
mine's not a good one though. It's the worst of the bunch. It's feel.
Oh no, sixth sense, not
Oh, not six. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't have that one. Not this
Um,
character.
So the two of you have this feeling for the remainder of the afternoon that you are being watched. But no matter how hard you try, you cannot seem to work out who is watching you.
Yeah.
It's just George.
I mean, I'm gonna try and, I guess, start. So my thoughts are, obviously something is up with this meeting. Perhaps they know about the weird ritual we saw. Perhaps they don't. But this is clearly not right, whatever they're doing. And then Johanna, you know about the the warehouse, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Perhaps there is an entrance to get to wherever they have the meeting from that warehouse, or maybe it is in that warehouse. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I mean,
Well,
I
in
will
the weekend
just
follow
remind
this-
you
this-
that the note said meet after sunset at my house from Toygan.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
he's got a warehouse apartment.
Maybe
no, I
they
thought-
go in a tunnel to. I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, I'm wanting to. As obviously, we want to follow this guy to Toygan's house. I think the madman, as you said wisely, Leon, he will pop up again, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
these ones are the ones to chase because they seem involved somehow. I couldn't help but feel that Toygan was hoping we would. His 10 shillings might pay us to keep off the scent.
That or he knows that we'll follow.
Ah, I bluff.
Either way is fine.
Alright, well, you wait for the remainder of the afternoon. As dusk starts to set, you see something of a mass exodus out of the Merchants Guild. All of the merchants that you saw in there when you passed through to go to Magirius's office, they all start leaving for the day. And in amongst them is Magirius himself.
Hey.
And he's not making a job of trying to hide himself. He quite obviously leaves the guild house and starts walking back towards the Adel Ring.
Is it like how close to sundown is it?
It's
Because obviously that was the key part of the timing.
yeah. So it is dusk at this point. So I would say that it's probably we're heading into winter. So I'm going to say it's probably about 5:30. Starting to get a bit dark, a bit dusky. So it will probably be sunset in an hour, and so obviously the note is the time is an hour following that.
Yeah.
So you got about 2 hours before the meeting is due to take place.
Sure. But obviously need to follow this guy still.
Yeah.
Because we don't know where Toygan's house is, right?
You could make an educated guess based on the amount of time you spent in the city.
True. Could we... Which one of us is most likely to follow them successfully, and could we follow that person? So,
It ain't
like,
me.
say Ulrich's good at following because he's a bounty hunter. Could we then follow Ulrich? So Ulrich can follow him at a distance, and then we can follow Ulrich at a distance. Just to try and mitigate the unmitigated disaster that we will be trying to
Yeah,
follow
okay.
this guy.
Oh, that's fine. That's fair. Alright.
I'm not saying it has to be Ulrich. I'm just saying which one of us do we think might be
Does
the best at
any
sneakily
of
following?
you have a dexterity modifier of greater than 3?
pretty sure mine's less than that.
Do I count in amongst this group?
Yes.
Mine is less than-
I have a dexterity modifier greater than 3.
Okay.
Mine is 2.
Yeah, same. Johanna?
Steph, you still with us?
Yes.
It's like, oh, there she is.
What is your dexterity modifier? Is it greater
Good
than 3?
question. Let's find out. It is exactly 3.
Okay. So I imagine it's probably going to be Ulrich, purely based on that. Stealth is a dexterity-based skill. Ulrich, do you have stealth rural or stealth urban?
No, I don't have any stealth.
Okay.
Do you have stealth, Johanna?
I don't think I have any stealth. No.
Got Smith. That is unfortunately almost the exact opposite of stealth.
Indeed.
I can climb.
Alright, well, I think probably, yeah, it makes the most sense to probably send Ulrich. And then I guess you guys can follow after Ulrich.
Yeah.
Alright, well, Nick, if you would like to make for me an average dexterity check.
Oh boy. Easy
Nice.
game.
Easy
Easy
money.
game.
The rest of you, I will say, I need you to make easy dexterity checks because you're not having to try and be as quiet following Ulrich.
That's it.
Nice. Nice.
Nice. Alright, let's see how I go. Come on. What was the modifier again, sorry?
Easy.
Easy. Alright. Let's see how many times I can fall over.
Nice.
Oh, yay!
Everyone got impressive successes. Good.
Excellent.
So, Ulrich, you start tailing Megirius. You're probably maybe, I'd say maybe 10, 15 yards behind him. He's not exactly trying to be, you know, he's not trying to get out of sight or anything. He's just wandering through the city, heading back towards his house. So, even though you're being quiet, you don't necessarily have to be super stealthy following him because he's not really looking over his shoulder or anything
Yeah, he's not expecting.
to be followed. And
To be
the
followed
other
by-
three of you are also tailing him.
Yeah.
Tailing Ulrich again because you're following Ulrich and not following Megirius as such. If you do make a little bit of noise, it's and you've done quite well with your dexterity checks. You're probably not making that much of a notice as you move through the busy streets as people are finishing up their work for the day. So you follow Megirius back to his abode, which is in the Adel Ring. So that is down here.
Let's see.
How did he cross the river?
He didn't cross the river. You were
We
here
were
before.
here.
Oh, of course. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I had my moment, but no. Of course.
Do you just tail him to his house and that's it, or do you try and intercept him and speak with him again?
Well, do we think this is Toygan's house, or do you think this is his house?
Pretty sure it's his own house, like it.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't think it wanted
it's not past sunset yet, so you would assume that this is at least his house. Maybe he
Yeah.
has to have a meal or freshen up before going over to Toygan's
That's
house.
it. Yeah.
Maybe I will, before he gets to his house, I might try and move ahead and then, like, approach him.
Okay. Yep. All right.
What you doing, Lottie? What you doing?
You do that. He sees you. Do you try and like intercept him
I
and
like-
speak with him?
Do like a, like a hand wave gesture.
Yep. He
And-
nods in your direction, but if you don't attempt to intercept him, he will just continue on his way.
I will attempt to intercept him.
Alright.
I just noticed when we had I spoke to you earlier today. It's been playing on my mind. You seemed a little concerned. Is everything okay?
Make for me a... Make for me a charm test, which I will oppose.
Difficulty.
You don't know this man, so let's say it is challenging.
I'm going to Fortuna.
Cool. Okay. By all means.
I don't have. That's my last one. I don't have the best charm, but worse.
Nice.
But it's also better. A kind of.
All right. He says, "I don't know what you mean, my good sir. I am perfectly fine. I just have to go home and freshen up, and then I will be meeting my my good friend, Councillor Toygan."
Oh, okay, no worries. It just been playing on my mind. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. If it is, no problem.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate your concern. Well, good
Have a
evening.
good night. Yes, and
Hey,
I'll go and walk off.
Yep, he sort of moves past you and approaches a house which is relatively modest compared to some of the other houses in the Adel Ring. There's only one sort of porter at the gate who opens the door and admits him with a sort of nod and a slight bowing of the shoulders, and Megirius enters the small grounds of his property and disappears inside.
Look, I know that was risky, but I just want to make sure, like, he wasn't in some shit and we couldn't help the situation.
Alright. You make a terrible bounty hunter though, laddie. Oh, and
Well, I mean,
well.
he seems no more concerned or aware of us, so I think it's okay, right?
Suppose. Alright, well,
I
what we
think
can
you might be right. No, I think Leon, I think you might be right. I think it sort of sets them at ease by showing a sort of genuine concern.
Like, even if he was, like, up to something naughty or whatever, like, suspicious, like, he would think, oh, this guy is just worried, but, like, he won't bother me again. I mean, I hope.
Alright. So you just, I guess, stake out his house for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Suppose, yeah, we don't really want to assume anything horrifying at this point. So we'll just watch.
Alright.
Do we still have that sense that we're being watched?
Uh,
Or those two?
those two would almost definitely still have the sense that they're being watched.
Cool.
Whether or not you've passed that information on to the other two, I don't know.
I probably wouldn't have. I would have just sat there feeling uncomfortable because I kind of vaguely feel like I'm being watched all the time now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Zeech is on my tail.
I'd probably be looking around a bit and acting a bit uncomfortable. But I don't know if I'd mention it specifically.
Okay. Alright, well, after an hour, he re-emerges, Megirius, from his property. He has changed his clothing into something much finer than what he was wearing before, and is carrying a package with him as he leaves his property and starts walking across the across the width of the adult ring.
I guess we follow.
Follow.
Cool. You follow along. Do you attempt to intercept, or are you just going to follow him?
Just follow for now, I think.
Yeah. I'm done with my interceptions.
Alright. Well, he walks across the way and enters the building here. Or enters, I should say, enters the building. Enters through the front gate of the building there.
I tackle him and steal his pouch.
And disappears. Do you do anything once he's entered into the property?
I mean, we're gonna. Do we want to like circle the property and see if there's a way in the back or something like that?
I don't want to commit a crime unless we
I do.
definitely know some shit's
I was gonna say, I think we
Okay.
passed that. Right.
All right, okay. Then yeah,
I am
let's.
definitely not going inside. Okay. I do not want to go back to jail, alright?
I suppose.
I am also a guard. This is like not great.
So then keep guard.
Yes, I can do that.
Exactly.
They're hitting you in the back.
I mean, so I'm gonna start looking around the house, I guess, to see if
Cool.
there's a way in.
I will spare you the trouble of having to make a perception test.
Okay.
There are no exterior gates other than the one you have seen Megarius enter by. The walls are 15 foot high and are topped with spikes.
Oh,
Okay. How is the gate guarded?
It is. There appear to be at least 2 guards there. There may be more. You can't tell because they are standing inside the gate. So you can see them when you sort of get to the sort of peripheries of the gate.
Yep.
And you can see a bit of the grounds beyond, but you can't definitively say, if there are more.
Yeah. Is there a sewer entrance nearby?
Is there a sewer entrance nearby? Now that is intriguing. Let me check my map of the sewers. Sewer map. Yeah, actually there is an entrance to the sewers nearby.
Okay. So, something that stood out when he was talking to us was he mentioned that lots of, this is Toygan, that lots of noble people often have these similar entrances to the sewers. They can have these doors to the sewers. I'm wondering if that's exactly what he has, and if he has some kind of entrance to his house.
That sounds like a good idea.
So, can we attempt an entry to the sewers? Like, is it just in the middle of the street and it's going to look real fucking weird?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely in the middle of the street. It's not in the Adel ring itself, but it is, like, right in the middle of the street.
I mean, whatever. I don't care. I think it's not.
I mean, we literally did that the other night.
Yeah, exactly. As long as it's not in front of, like, this guy's house, then yeah, absolutely.
Okay. It is near his house, I will say that much.
That's fine. That's what I want. I don't want to be too far away. God,
Cool.
we'd get
Alright,
lost.
well, you try to do that.
I mean,
I will
if
say,
no one else is with me, that's fine, but that's what I'm doing.
before you start wandering off, I guess, yeah, good point. Is anyone else accompanying you, or is it just you?
Well, did we use the ladder last time, right?
Yep.
I mean, they have those rungs down if we go really carefully. It's not quite as dark. We know what to expect.
Right. I'm gonna hold back for now, and just sort of watch as they go down. Because don't want to totally do a crime, but also I want to watch them do a crime.
I mean, going into a sewer is not illegal, right?
I mean, technically not.
I don't think so. Like,
Yeah.
well, we've told loads of people that's what we were doing, and no one's told us off for it. So
If we break
Yeah.
the threshold of going into his house from the sewers, maybe that's trespassing, but
sure.
Well, if he's doing something illegal, then it cancels things out, doesn't it?
yeah, you would say that. I'm being judgy, I apologize.
I'm too
Uh,
busy already committing crimes.
Alright, I'll head down.
Okay.
I'm taking off my metal armor that I would not have been wearing. Ooh, I'm so weak.
All right. Well, you. So it's just the two of you who are going down. 3 of you.
Johanna's going down, right?
Yeah, I'm coming down.
Oh, okay. I'll stay out for now.
All right. As you
I'll
were
be the guy that's like, nothing to see here, nothing, no how.
Alright, well, the 3 of you who are descending into the sewers, make for me, please, a challenging dexterity test.
Oh, great, my favorite stat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to work one time, right?
Nice. Nice.
Not this
Surely.
time.
Yeah.
And Leon breaks his neck as he falls down, and Stephen rolls another character.
Whoa. Whoa. That took a dark turn.
Even like the Doom, you should have rolled your Doom, being like falls on the stairs and dies.
Yeah.
Alright.
Down the
Okay,
hole.
so
Yeah.
Have
let's
I done
see.
my Doom?
You fall into the sewers, the 2 of you.
I actually should have triggered when you said that guy said, "Beware the man that is not a man," because that's my dooming. My doom is beware the man that is not a man.
Aye. Spicy.
I forgot.
Spicy. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's see.
Is he not a man if he's a vampire?
I mean, he's still a man, right? Unless it's talking about the
That means the jar.
species, not the gender.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Alright, so you fall into, the 2 of you who failed, into the
Yep.
sewage.
Okay.
So we need to have a
Ew.
look at falling damage.
Right.
Falling. Okay, so it is actually
Seriously needs to do better sewage maintenance.
it's
Yeah.
1d10 plus 3 for every full yard you fall.
Right.
But that is reduced by toughness, but not armor.
Sure. How
Um,
many yards do we fall?
You fall 4 yards. It is technically 7 yards, but thanks to the cushioning effects of the effluent, it only feels like 4 yards.
Ew.
So that means that you will need to take, for the 2 of you who fall, 1d10 plus 12. That number of wounds.
21 wounds.
Yep.
Pretty sure that kills
21
Johanna, right?
wounds.
Like my toughness bonus can eat that. Just.
Wait, wasn't I marginally successful? Did
Yeah,
I
I'm
fall?
saying
Oh,
this is
Johanna's
the
fine.
2 of you who failed, not you.
So I can absorb it with my toughness?
Yes, just not armor.
Okay. I'm on 1 wound.
Wow. Oof.
Oh my god. The doom is tight though.
Yeah.
The big fall.
I mean, my darkness was almost correct.
It's a big fall. Alright.
Imagine dying by falling in shit. That would be awful.
I've popped my shoulder out of socket and stuff.
Oh no.
and if I try and climb back up and fall, I will die. So I'm gonna just stay here.
Alright, the two of you who have fallen into the sewer, I need you both to make difficult endurance tests.
Oh my god.
Alright, you are both fine. Fortunately for you, Leon, you cannot contract the itching pox again.
Huzzah!
So,
Can I?
I'm
Can
gonna
I
drink
give? Yeah.
my only draft of healing.
yep, by all means, feel free to drink a draft of healing. It is your toughness bonus plus D4 hit points back.
I'm also going to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Oof.
Oh,
Oof.
That's Warhammer, baby.
Do you need additional healing drafts?
I
I can
can't.
only drink one.
Now, this is the thing. It specifically says you can only take one per encounter. Now, we're not actually in a fight right now, so I see that there being no issue with you smashing a few of them.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I wasn't sure if it count as like the day.
Well,
but
I
okay,
might
sure.
hand
Then
you each a
I'll,
healing.
I'll have another one. I've got, well, I have 4 now, so I'll pass
Oh,
one to
okay,
Liam as
well.
I didn't
So-
have any others.
Yeah, I'll pass you one.
There we go.
So that puts me back to 14. I could drink another one to get to full, or we can just stay there.
Up to you.
Actually, if you're willing to offer it, I will take it.
Yeah, of course.
I don't need to roll, because I was 4 off, and my toughness bonus is 4, so...
I'm gonna, like, strip my gross, disgusting robe off.
Yeah, your bad robe now.
Because I've got my armor on underneath.
Cool.
And I'm gonna, like, leave it piled up by the entrance / death point.
Alright, so you make your way. Now, do you have an illumination source? I assume Johanna has like a lantern.
I had a storm
Yep.
lantern as well.
Got
You got a
mine as
lantern?
well.
Great, you all have lanterns. Wonderful. You make your way in the direction of the, let you know, the Toygan house to be, which is back this way. You entered, sorry, essentially here, so not that far away. It's maybe a couple of minutes walk down the sewer canal. Meanwhile, whilst this is happening, Nick,
Mm-hmm.
can you roll for me a D100, please?
Oh my god.
Cool. A random passerby notices you standing next to an open sewer grate and goes, sorry, Master Dwarf, what appears to be going on?
Oh, nothing to see here, laddie. Just, just a bit of work being done down there. Hey,
Work
hey,
being done.
hey.
I see.
I nod emphatically.
Make for me a challenging charm test, please.
This charm. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh!
Let's fucking go.
Oh!
Let's fucking go. Hey, lad,
Uh,
nothing to see here, laddie. Nothing at all. Just a regular day here.
He stinks
incredible
like a sewage
floors.
worker, so...
Incredible.
And I have
Yeah.
been drinking. So, just regular Bögenhafen day. Hey. You'll love to see it.
Well, fair enough, Master Dwarf. I suppose if you say that it is maintenance, then I guess it is maintenance. And
Hey, it is, laddie. Hey, but astute day you got on you. Hey.
the passerby wanders off, shaking their head.
I just keep nodding at him like, hey. Good day to you, sir.
Good job.
You just...
You
You just
avoided
need
an
some,
encounter.
like, You need some, like, yellow barricades around it. No
Yeah.
one will ask any
Just get
questions.
some witches' hats.
Ooh.
You know, pop them out. All right. So
Some kind
the
of bright yellow waistcoat.
yeah, Get your high vis on. Everyone will be fine.
After that, can I like whisper down the manhole and just be like, everything right down there has a lot of splashing.
By that point, the party's already moved on, so they won't hear you.
I'll assume everything is fine.
Yeah. Rather than
And then
assuming the worst.
slowly-
Yeah, everyone's just dead.
Just drowned in the sewer. Just... Alright, so the three of you who are in the sewer, you make your way to about here, where you notice that there is a minor sort of waterway coming off to your left, heading underneath the Toygan household. Now, it is small, and will require all of you to wade through the effluent if you want to get there.
Delightful.
How
I mean,
tall?
I'm already dirty. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I may as well dip my toe in.
How tall are all of you? As well.
I'm 6
Good
foot.
question.
6 foot.
I'm 6
I'm
foot.
5'6".
6 foot. 5'6". All three of you are going to have to hunch to walk through here because it is 5 feet. In
Oh,
total.
good. I thought it was like if we'd have to swim through something deep.
No.
I was being like,
Only-
yeah, if I'm getting in and it's like going past my knees, that's like, what the fuck? Like, nah, man.
No. So the effluent is definitely probably about the bottom foot of this 5 feet.
Yeah.
But
fine.
otherwise,
That's fine. I can live with that.
the whole pipe is about 5 foot tall. So you will
Right.
all have to sort of duck and crouch and
Yeah, yeah.
Your
that's
head's
fine.
just getting uncomfortably close.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Fine.
so you make your way along.
Crouch down and foot,
Gehenna,
that's fine.
you are now in the sewer. Okay, we'll bear that in mind. We might have to make you do a test later.
Delightful.
All right, so you make your way up and under the Toygan household. When you get to the end of this canal, you can see that there are 3, pipes leading up to the property proper. And by pipes, I mean they're like channels that have been like carved into the rock, leading down into this canal. I would say they're all fairly narrow. The most central of them, you might be able to get, like Gehenna being probably slighter than the other two of you, may be able to crawl up of it, but it's going to be challenging, definitely.
There's no like door.
No, there appears to be no
Yeah.
sewer, no sewer entrance or cellar.
Well, maybe he doesn't have one of those things.
Hmm.
So glad we came down here.
Yes. Let's try and climb out, to be honest. It really freaking hurt, that fall.
We
Much
may
the
have
same,
to
really.
regroup. And have a bath.
Alright, well, so you make your way back out of the sewer then?
I might run my hand along the walls when
Yeah,
we
like
get
I
back
want to
to
give
the
it a
main
really
tunnel.
thorough search. I want to give it a good thorough search in this room first with the channels. Like, can I hear anything from up them? Can I see anything up them?
I'll make for me a challenging perception test, both of you, if you're sort of searching the space.
I'm going to be trying to use my acute sense of feel
Sure.
along the walls
In
to
that-
try and find any traps or
In-
buttons or things like that.
In that case, I will say that you can make an easy test.
I am not using my special sense because I'll die.
Yeah, there are definitely negatives
You
to
only make
using
that mistake.
scent-based tests.
I still rolled poorly.
Alright, Wolfgang, you can't see up the channels very far. The sort of drains, if you will, sort of point into the sort of ending of this channel at like a 45-degree angle for quite a ways, but then they then go straight up. So you can see up to the point where they go straight up, and then you see no further. Only one of them you can see a hint of light at the point where it goes straight up to what you can only assume is a privy somewhere.
Yeah.
As for sound, currently you can hear nothing through them. Leon, you start running your hand over the walls, and it comes away thick with slime and other stuff that you don't really want to think about.
I mean, it's all in my hair and everywhere, so what else?
But you find nothing. Alright.
Cool.
Do you make your way out?
Yeah, I'm done with this hellhole.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or shithole, I should say.
Excellent choice. Gehenna, make for me please an average endurance test.
Okay. Is it working?
I've not seen anything yet.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll get all
Maybe I
three of you
click-
to make those average endurance tests, actually.
There we go. Now it's worked.
Nice.
Hooray.
I have
Oh,
rolled
Steve.
so trash.
Oh, Steve.
Okay, Steve,
Yeah,
I
going back down.
I hate to do this to you,
Yeah.
Ooh.
but you have also contracted the galloping trots.
Oh no!
I'll use the resilience.
Excellent. Cool.
Nice.
No galloping trots for you.
I don't want both.
Yeah.
Take
You
one.
don't want
One
to
at a
also,
time you
at
can
the same
do.
time as being itchy and coughy and sneezy, also be shitting through the eye of a needle. No one needs that. Alright. Well, the three of you emerge from the sewer. I will make a note that you guys will be truly awful to smell right now, so you will probably need to clean off if you want to actually
Yes, I would.
encounter anyone.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll bundle up my shit-stained robes and take them with me, but yeah, be pretty
Yep.
vile.
Alright. Well, you have not had much luck. It is now late in the evening. The moon seems larger than it did the previous night. Let me see. Where's my notes on the moon? I think I've gone too far. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the moon, Morsley, is once again full and seems, much like it did the previous night, larger than normal. By this point in the night, I would say you've probably been at this for a couple of hours all told, so it's probably around 9, maybe 10 at the latest. And now that you're all topside again, you swear that it looks like there's a face in that moon. And not one that you've noticed before, whenever Morsley has been in the sky.
Right?
Bad moon's rising.
You can't really make it out distinctly, but like there's some features that definitely sort of look like it
Like
could be some
looking
sort of
at a
face.
cloud.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like something, yeah.
What's the term? Pareidolia is the term. Alright, what do you guys do? Do you want to hang around and see what happens here at Toygan's house for the remainder of the night, or do you want to get cleaned up and head to bed?
I'm done here. I just want to go to sleep. I'm gonna go get cleaned up.
I guess if we're just watching the house from the outside, we could do that and then go home. But also, like, shit-stained clothes aren't great.
I want to go to the Temple of Sigma.
To the Temple of Sigma.
You always want to go to the temple.
Are you going to
I
clean
do,
before
I
you
know.
go?
Nah,
Nah. Alright. Okay.
I'll have a bath there.
The three of you who are going back to... are you going to watch... So if Wolfgang's going to the temple, are you hanging around and watching, or are you just going to go back to the boat and...
I'm
go there?
already walking back to the body.
Cool. Don't forget that
I'm
he's
done.
likely to hoik you straight into the river, so you might need to douse yourself
Yeah.
before you get on board.
Yeah.
I'll find the best place I can to.
On the fountain.
Yeah, wherever. If no one's in the
Yeah.
city centre, I will clean myself in the fountain.
Johanna, what about yourself? You weren't completely immersed, but
Yeah.
you definitely got in there.
But
Yeah, I think cleaning up would be nice, and then I might come back to have a look and see if anything's happened.
Although that might be illegal to clean yourself in a town's fountain. So
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
I won't
You
do
really
it.
don't want to go back
yeah.
to jail.
Yeah, so I'll probably just take a dip in the river and clean as much crap out of the joints of my. Well, I was wearing chainmail, so try and clean that out. I'll spend like probably good 10 minutes shaking it in the water.
We don't have toothbrushes, do we? As we
No.
understand them today.
I
What's
would
it
think
do?
not.
Hmm.
I grab some sticks and like start poking it out.
Oh no.
Ew, gross.
I mean,
Well, if you
do
leave
what
it
you
to
gotta
dry,
do.
if you leave it to dry, it'll probably clean itself. Because you can just shake it around and the chainmail will crack it all off, and then you could wash it.
Yeah, but that's gross.
Gross, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably spend like half an hour cleaning my gear as best I can.
Cool. Okay, well, the two of you who got into the sewer clean off and get back onto the boat. Ulrich, what are you doing? Are you going back to the boat as well?
I'll wait a while, and then if they don't come up after like a couple hours, I'm just gonna be like, well, maybe even like, if they don't come up after like 20 minutes, I'll be like,
We're up.
oh yeah, but you didn't come out the same way, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'll just follow them. Yeah.
Yes, you're going back to the boat then?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll be like, ugh,
Alright.
lads, you smell like shit, lads.
So the
Now
three
you
of
know how
you
it feel.
make your way back to the boat and clean up and head back to bed. Wolfgang, you're instead heading to the Temple of Sigma, which
That's
is
right.
not too
I
far
would
away.
argue, I mean, I reckon I'm still stinky and horrible and gross, but
Yep.
I did have my robe on over the top, and I've taken that off to try and mitigate the grossness.
Wasn't Johanna going back after cleaning up?
Yeah, just want to see if like the house is glowing or something.
Cool. We'll come back to that then. Alright, you will make your way to the Temple of Sigma, which is, as mentioned
That's
before, this big old boy here.
Mm-hmm.
You will run into a priest there who
Yep.
definitely turns his nose up at you due to the smell, and you are covered in effluent.
Yeah.
But then he sort of looks through it.
I'll introduce myself and I'll say, look, please forgive my situation. And I'm basically just going to sort of start telling them what I think is going on.
Sure. Make me please a gossip test.
Mhm.
But I need you to halve your fellowship stats until you have cleaned
Sure.
yourself.
Yeah. So I'm doing it very hard because my gossip, my fellowship is 59, so I'm doing minus 30 plus 1. So
Yep. It's not bad, all things considered.
yeah,
Um.
56. So still a two success level.
Yeah. All right. Well, the priest there looks at you and says, "I think you'd best come and speak to the high priest here. Do you require a bath, brother?"
Of course, if I could be so bold as to ask for that.
Certainly. I think
I didn't want to presume. I know I bring filth, and I feel very unclean
I think
spiritually
it's
as well.
possibly best that you bathe before speaking with the high priest. So,
Of course,
if
of course.
you don't mind walking around to the back, I will let you into the arming yard, and I will have a bath drawer for you there.
Bath, a trough for the horses. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he meets you at the back, leads you into like the stables essentially, where there is a large sort of wooden tub with cold water.
Yeah,
And,
I will spend some time getting out of my armor.
Yep.
To I guess get that cleaned, and I'm actually going to ask if I can leave it here.
Yes.
To come back and get it cleaned and I'll get it cleaned. You know.
Most assuredly, of course. And
likewise, I'll ask if I can put my robe. I mean, I'll drop that in the water too, and sort of try and rinse it out as best I can, and then be like, look, if this can be cleaned at all, I'd appreciate that. And if you've got if I can borrow just like a simple initiate's robe or something, that would be fine.
Certainly. And a few minutes later, a novitiate arrives with a coarse towel for you and a clean robe, a proper priest's robe, not a novitiate's robe.
Oh, that's kind. Yeah.
So essentially another version of your shit robes that you said you have.
Yes. Yeah.
With just a simple rope belt.
Yep. Great.
So you clean off, and whilst you're doing that, Gehenna, you make your way back to the house. And
make my way back to the house.
Can you make for me, please, You're trying to be stealthy about this, I assume, whilst observing?
I'm trying to be nonchalant, as nonchalant as someone can be walking around a fancy neighborhood in the dead of night.
Alright,
All covered in shit.
Do you have...
Oh no, you're not shit.
Do you have any entertain skills?
Yeah, I've got gamble, gossip, haggle, intimidate, intuition, and leadership.
And a monkey.
And a monkey.
Alright. Make for me, let's go an average dexterity test to try and be relatively stealthy.
Alrighty, let's see how we go.
Oi!
I knock over something incredibly clattery, no doubt.
So I think probably what happens here is that you're so focused on trying to keep an eye on the property that you just walk straight into someone.
Yeah.
We forgot to put the manhole cover back.
No, don't even mention that. I was distinctly not mentioning that.
Yeah, so you walk directly into someone, and that causes a bit of a commotion. A watch patrol comes over, they start asking questions, you know. You do your best to say, oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention where I was going, and it causes a bit of a kerfuffle, but after probably about 10 minutes of this, the watch sort of lets you off with a warning. The person you walked into sort of says something rather rude towards you and then walks off.
Fair enough.
Can you make...
I'm just gonna... Sorry, carry on.
Can you make for me an average perception check?
Oh god, if I wasn't being watched before, I certainly am now. You notice that you have the galloping trot.
Shit. What's this running down my leg? Oh, it's my own shit.
I don't notice anything.
Cool. Now, it's only a marginal failure, so you're alright. You observe the house. You can see that there are the 2 guards. You can see probably vaguely the sort of vague shadow of what appears to be dogs patrolling inside the gate. But it's hard to tell. It is night after all. You wait for, let's say, you wait for an hour, and when there is no sign of anyone entering or leaving the property, you decide that you've had enough, and you go back to the
I'm
boat.
going to bed.
Wolfgang, you have finished bathing, and you are having a conversation with the High Priest of Sigmar.
That's right.
Whose name is this one here, and it is Ludo Idel. He's a relatively young man. He's probably, how old is Wolfgang?
Probably mid-30s at this point.
I would say that Ludo is probably a touch younger than yourself.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, well, I'll greet him and relay the story, basically.
Yep.
Just say, look, I'm, Brother Wolfgang. My companions and I have travelled all the way from where I'm from, Middenland and Middenheim, and then basically I just say, look, I think there is some kind. And I talk about the goblin, I talk about the chaos thing, I talk like the cult thing, I talk about the fact that I'm being pursued by some kind of chaos sorcerer or cult in the guise of a witch hunter, and that we witnessed the thing, and I'll try my best to recount the symbol, and that they're all meeting at the house of this Teugen tonight. We tried to sneak our way in, but there was no real way to get in, hence the sewage, and his vampire in it.
So,
I'm probably rambling a bit, like there's lots of things to talk
make
about.
for me a what did I get you to do before? It was a gossip test, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Make for me a gossip test. You no longer have the penalty because you've cleaned yourself.
Cool.
And it will be challenging. Cool.
Like, I'm not trying to hide anything particularly. I'm being pretty open about all of it.
As for the symbol, the priest goes, "Oh, I know that symbol. It's yes, it's I guess a not so secret society within the town of Bögenhafen. They're called the Ordo Septenarius. They are an association of merchants, minor nobility. They're a charitable organisation. They make donations to various different, the Shallian Mercy House. They run a soup kitchen in the Poor Quarter. Mostly they, it's basically just like a bit of a boys' club, if you will, for the wealthy merchants to sit around and drink brandy in each other's houses. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I think they picked the name mostly to give it a feeling of majesty and grandiosity far beyond what it actually is. As for Teugen, well, I mean, he has, ever since returning from Nuln when his older brother passed, his appearance has changed, but a vampire? I've seen him walk in the daylight. I think he is a mortal man, maybe an ill mortal man. His brother did die of rather perfidious disease, but I think he is just a man. As for your tales of the sewers, well, I cannot confirm nor deny them. I would not call you a liar, Brother Wolfgang. If you say what you saw, I will believe you in Sigmar's name. But without further witnesses to the case, or without it being vouched for by another member of the Holy Orders, I can't really say what can be done. Other than to thank you for destroying a demon in our city.
You mean to say that there are none that would take up hammer or book against this blight on the Empire? It's under your flock, corrupting them from inside. And the similarities in the symbol and the symbol we saw where this demon appeared.
I can only assume that is a coincidence. As I said, I've seen this symbol before, and it is essentially a charitable gentleman's club, who selected iconography, I think, to give them an air of mystique more than anything else. But it's a fairly open secret in the town, the Ordo Septenarius. If you were to engage one of their members for information about it, I have no doubt that they would provide you with as much information as you require. I think they probably would not tell you who the members are. That, I think, might go against their creed, or etho, if you will. But certainly, I think that they would be fairly open to speaking to you about it.
Very well. Thank you for your hospitality, Father.
Of course, brother, please. And feel free to take a moment and say a prayer to Sigmar whilst you are here.
Of course.
As you do that, take a moment to pray for Sigmar's guidance.
Mm-hmm.
You have Can you make for me a pray test?
Okay.
Average. Interesting.
Weird.
Try that again.
We'll try again.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is target number meant to be 99?
Yeah, my pray is 79.
You're boss.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I put
Well,
20
no,
advances in.
Sigmar,
I put
actually.
20 advances into it, and my fellowship is I
Wow.
put 10 advances in the fellowship.
Alright, well, you will, and you also have holy visions, don't you?
I do.
Cool. You will you'll feel a warm, comforting presence behind you.
Okay.
You will feel what feels like a firm hand on your shoulder. And
Yep.
with a voice that rings both in your ear and in your mind simultaneously, but you know that no one else can hear it. A
Yep.
deep, comforting voice says, "The Empire is threatened here. This town is being infiltrated by the great enemy." And as quickly as that sensation and voice appears, it is gone.
All right.
And we will leave it there for tonight.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very
And
cool.
you
Thank you.
thought Wolfgang was zealous before.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's gonna be fucking insufferable.
Buddy!
He'll never shut up.
If his
It'll
passion
be
was a
fucking
bonfire.
eat, pray, love nonsense forever.
For the love of God.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
We've just poured gasoline on it.
Yep.
That's it.
Cool.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. That was lots of fun.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I know it was a lot of intrigue and not a lot of much else, but that's somehow
We love the intrigue.
that's how
Yeah,
that's
we
how
do.
it be sometimes.
Delicious.
And
Yum,
still